Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. state quarter-dollar coins, as some of these coins are rare and can make you rich overnight. In this video, we are gonna uncover the rarest coins and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're diving into a very special piece of American currency history, the Connecticut state quarter from the year 1999. It might look like just another quarter at first glance, but this seemingly ordinary coin has a few secrets that could make it extraordinarily valuable. Yes, you heard that right. What if I told you that one of these Connecticut quarters could be worth tens of thousands of dollars today? Stick around until the very end, and I'll reveal the exact value in words. But let me just say, it's jaw-dropping. Now, let's turn back the clock for a moment. In 1999, the United States Mint launched the legendary 50 State Quarters program, a monumental initiative that would become one of the most successful coin series in American history. Every state would have its own unique quarter, released in the order it joined the Union. Connecticut was the fifth state to be honored in this series, and its coin came out in the final months of that exciting first year. What makes the Connecticut quarter stand out is its stunning design. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the famous charter oak, a legendary tree that once stood in Hartford, Connecticut. According to colonial history, this very tree was where the Connecticut colonists hid their royal charter to keep it safe from being seized by the British in 1687. This wasn't just a tree, it was a symbol of rebellion, freedom, and the unbreakable American spirit. The detail in the engraving is absolutely beautiful, with the sprawling branches of the charter oak stretching wide, telling a silent but powerful story of defiance and liberty. But the real treasure lies not just in the design, but in the rare errors that occurred during the minting of some of these coins. See, millions upon millions of these quarters were struck. But as any serious collector knows, it's not about how many were made. It's about how many perfect or flawed ones survive in the right condition. And when it comes to the 1999 Connecticut quarter, there are a few key minting errors that turn this common coin into something incredibly rare and valuable. One of the most sought-after errors is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is misaligned, leaving part of it cut off or oddly shaped. These errors are visually striking and immediately catch the eye of collectors. Then there are double die errors, coins where parts of the design appear duplicated due to a misprint in the die-making process. Imagine the charter oak with double outlines on its branches or duplicated lettering. These are extremely rare, and the more dramatic the doubling, the higher the value. Another fascinating variation is the clad layer missing error, where the outer layer of the quarter, which is normally a silvery nickel coating, is either partially or completely missing, exposing the inner copper core. This gives the coin a totally different look and makes it a standout among collectors. But perhaps the most exciting and valuable Connecticut state quarters are the ones with a combination of errors, like an off-center strike combined with doubling, or a clad error combined with striking anomalies. These combinations are incredibly rare, and when found in mint state condition, meaning the coin has never been circulated and shows no signs of wear, they can command astronomical prices. Now, let's not forget another essential factor: condition. Coin collectors prize coins that have been preserved in pristine shape. That means no scratches, no discoloration, no wear from passing through thousands of hands. A coin graded MS 67 or higher, especially with a rare error, can be worth exponentially more than the same coin in average, circulated condition. So why does all this matter? Because for every handful of pocket change, there could be a hidden gem. A 1999 Connecticut quarter that looks just a little different, that has a tiny error you didn't notice at first glance, or one that you pulled from a mint roll years ago and forgot about. And if you're lucky enough to have one of these rare coins with the right combination of condition and minting flaw, you could be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. Coin collectors and investors around the world are constantly watching for these rare quarters. There are auction houses and private buyers willing to pay thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, for the right coin. Why? Because rare coins are not only historical artifacts, they're investments. They're conversation pieces. They're symbols of national pride, artistry, and chance. So now the moment you've all been waiting for, the potential value of one of these coins. If you happen to have a 1999 Connecticut quarter that contains one of the rare minting errors we discussed, and if that coin is in flawless, uncirculated condition with a high mint state grading from a reputable agency like PCGS or NGC, then you could be looking at a collector value of up to $84,000. Yes, That's right. $84,000 for a single quarter. That's a life-changing amount of money for a coin that many people overlook, toss in a drawer, or spend without a second thought. And that's exactly why coin collecting is so thrilling, because every coin tells a story, and some coins tell the story of fortune and discovery. So, take a second look at your quarters, especially those from 1999. And if you find a Connecticut quarter with a strange marking, a misaligned strike, or anything unusual about it, consider having it appraised or graded by a professional. Who knows? You might just be holding the next treasure of your collection, or a coin worth more than you ever imagined. Top 2, we're talking about none other than the United States of America Arkansas State Quarter from 2003. Now, don't let the humble appearance of this coin fool you. It might look like your average quarter, but there's more to this 25-cent piece than meets the eye. In fact, a specific version of this Arkansas quarter, due to its rarity, condition, and unique errors, could be worth an astonishing sum that most people wouldn't believe. So make sure to watch this video all the way through, because this isn't just about money, it's about history, art, mystery, and the thrill of the hunt. Let's jump in. The Arkansas State Quarter was released in 2003 as part of the 50 State Quarters program, an initiative by the U.S. Mint that ran from 1999 to 2008. Each state was honored with its own unique design on the reverse side of the quarter, and Arkansas came in as the 25th state to be featured. For collectors, this was a golden era. Each new release brought anticipation, excitement, and the chance to discover a hidden gem. The Arkansas Quarter features a beautifully detailed scene that represents the natural beauty and diversity of the state. The design includes a flying mallard duck soaring above a lake, framed by tall pine trees. To the left, there's a rice stalk, a nod to Arkansas's agricultural roots, and to the right, a cut diamond, symbolizing the state's diamond mining heritage. In fact, Arkansas is home to Crater of Diamonds State Park, the only place in the U.S. where the public can dig for diamonds and actually keep what they find. Pretty cool, right? But the Arkansas Quarter isn't just about stunning design. It's also a coin with a secret. Among the millions that were minted and put into circulation, a tiny number have something incredibly special about them. These are the rare error coins. And for collectors, error coins are like buried treasure. So what makes an Arkansas Quarter so valuable? Let's talk about the errors that can turn an ordinary 25-cent coin into a 4- or 5-figure collectible point. One of the most talked about error types is the double die error. This happens during the minting process when the die that stamps the design onto the coin shifts slightly, causing parts of the image or lettering to appear doubled. On the Arkansas Quarter, this can show up in the words Arkansas, 2003, or even in the duck's wings or the outlines of the diamond. This doubling effect is often subtle but unmistakable to trained eyes and incredibly valuable. Next, we have the off-center strike, another popular and rare error. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be stamped off-center. Depending on how misaligned it is, these coins can vary in value, but some of the most dramatic off-center Arkansas quarters have sold for thousands of dollars. Then there's the rare and mysterious clad layer missing error. U.S. quarters are made of a copper core sandwiched between two layers of a nickel-copper alloy. But sometimes, due to a minting defect, one of those outer layers is missing, revealing a reddish copper tone on one side of the coin. These flawed coins are instantly recognizable and highly sought after. But here's the real kicker. Some Arkansas quarters have been discovered with multiple errors. Imagine a coin that's not only struck off-center, but also has doubling in the text and a partially missing clad layer. These combinations are rare beyond belief and command top dollar in auctions and private sales. Now let's talk about condition. Even if you have one of these rare errors, the value can rise or fall dramatically depending on how well the coin has been preserved. Coins that have been circulated, spent, dropped, or scratched will never reach their full potential value. But a coin that has been kept in uncirculated or near-perfect mint condition, graded MS-65, MS-66, or even MS-67 by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, can be worth a fortune. That's why so many serious collectors store their coins in airtight containers, keep them away from light, moisture, and oils, and never handle them with bare hands. The Arkansas Quarter has another layer of appeal, especially for regional collectors. People from Arkansas, or those with a connection to the state, love collecting this coin for its symbolic design. It's more than currency, it's a piece of local pride, history, and heritage. And when you combine that sentimental value with numismatic rarity, the appeal skyrockets. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're at a yard sale. You buy an old coin collection in a dusty box for 20 bucks. You take it home, open it up, and start flipping through the coins. Your heart skips a beat when you see a 2003 Arkansas quarter. You take a closer look, and wait a minute, is that a doubled Arkansas? Is the duck off center? Is there something unusual about the coin's surface? You send it off to be graded. A few weeks later, the results come back. It's a rare mint error in mint state condition. And then, someone offers to buy it. Not for $100, not for $1,000, but for a life-changing amount. That's not just a fantasy, it's happened before. In fact, one of the rarest known Arkansas quarters ever discovered, due to a combination of striking errors and pristine preservation, was once valued at an incredible total of $82,000. Yes, you heard that right. $82,000 for a single quarter. Now tell me this, have you checked your spare change lately? That's the beauty of coin collecting. It's the thrill of never knowing what you might find, of holding a piece of history in your hand, of realizing that something so small could hold so much value, financially and culturally. Coins like the 2003 Arkansas quarter remind us that sometimes the biggest treasures come in the smallest forms. Top 3, we're diving deep into a remarkable coin from the United States Mint's legendary 50 State Quarters series, one that celebrates one of the most breathtaking parts of the country. Get ready, because the Colorado State Quarter from 2006 is about to blow your mind. At first glance, it looks like any other quarter you might find jingling in your pocket. But what if I told you that one of these coins, under just the right conditions and with just the right characteristics, could be worth more than many cars, more than some homes, even more than some people earn in a whole year? Let's take a trip back to 2006. The U.S. Mint had been releasing state quarters for several years, and collectors across the nation were going wild. Each state quarter was more than just currency, it was a miniature piece of history, culture, and state pride struck into metal. Colorado was the 38th state to be honored in the series, and the design chosen for its quarter captures the rugged natural beauty that defines the Centennial State. The reverse side of the coin features a stunning depiction of the Rocky Mountains, with towering peaks rising sharply into the sky and pine trees nestled below. The words "Colorful Colorado" grace the design, a fitting tribute to the majestic wilderness and outdoor spirit of the state. It's a breathtaking image that manages to pack the grandeur of nature into the palm of your hand. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. Why is this quarter worth more than 25 cents? Why would collectors and investors alike shell out thousands for something that most people might overlook? The answer lies in a fascinating combination of rarity, errors, and condition. Millions of Colorado quarters were minted and released into circulation, but only a tiny fraction have survived in mint state condition. That means no scratches, no signs of wear, and no damage from handling. These coins are sharp, detailed, and look almost like they just left the mint yesterday. If you have one of these in your collection, you're already holding something special. But it gets even more exciting when we talk about mint errors, those rare and quirky mistakes that happen during the coin-making process. Most coins are struck perfectly, but every now and then, the minting machinery malfunctions, and the result is a coin that stands out for all the right reasons. Let's talk about the most valuable errors found on some 2006 Colorado quarters. First up, we have the double die error. This happens when the die used to stamp the coin has been engraved more than once slightly out of alignment. The result? Duplicated images or text that appear to have a shadow or second imprint. On the Colorado quarter, this might show up in the date 2006, the phrase "colorful Colorado," or even the mountain lines. These errors are extremely rare and extremely desirable. Next, there's the off-center strike. If a coin blank isn't properly aligned under the die, the image will be stamped off-center, leaving part of the design cut off or blank. The more off-center the strike, the more unique and valuable the coin becomes. Some off-center Colorado quarters are known to be significantly misaligned, creating a one-of-a-kind collectible. And then there's the fascinating clad layer missing error. U.S. quarters are composed of an inner copper core with outer layers of nickel. Sometimes, one of these layers is missing, causing the coin to look duller, redder, or rougher than it should. A Colorado quarter missing a clad layer not only looks strange, it becomes incredibly rare. But it doesn't stop there. Some of the most valuable Colorado quarters have multiple errors, a double die strike combined with an off-center alignment, for example. These compound errors are almost unheard of, and when found in pristine condition, they can fetch jaw-dropping amounts at auction. Speaking of condition, let's talk about grading. Professional grading agencies like NGC and PCGS rate coins on a scale from 1 to 70. Coins that score 65 or above are considered high-grade mint state coins. A Colorado quarter with a rare error and a high grade? That's a dream find for any serious collector. Now picture this. You're sorting through an old coin jar at home. You pick up a 2006 quarter with the Colorado design. At first, it looks normal, but then you notice something odd. The letters seem slightly doubled. The image looks a bit off. You pull out a magnifying glass. Your hands start to shake. Could this be one of the rare ones? You send it off to be graded, and the results come back better than you imagined. A high mint state grade, verified double die error, maybe even an off-center strike. And suddenly, your ordinary-looking quarter isn't so ordinary anymore. Collectors around the world are willing to pay serious money for coins like these. Why? Because they're rare. Because they tell a story. Because they're history, art, and investment all rolled into one dot, and now, for the moment you've been waiting for. A 2006 Colorado state quarter with the right combination of error, condition, and rarity, professionally graded and verified, has been valued as high as $79,000. Yes, $79,000 for a single coin. Think about that the next time you pay with change or dig through your coin collection. That unassuming quarter in your drawer could be hiding a secret. All it takes is one rare coin to change everything. So what are you waiting for? Go check those quarters. Look closely at the dates, the lettering, the details of the design. Use a magnifying glass. Get familiar with minting errors. Educate yourself, because knowledge is power, especially in the world of coins. And if you love this kind of content, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a chance to learn about coins that could be worth small fortunes. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and always remember, some treasures come in small, shiny, round packages. We're talking about the 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter, one of the most talked about and potentially lucrative coins ever minted in the 50 State Quarters series. So sit back, relax, and listen closely, because this coin has a story that every collector should hear. Let's begin with the basics. In 2004, the U.S. Mint released the Wisconsin State Quarter as part of its celebrated 50 State Quarters program. Each quarter in this series honored a different state with a unique design representing its identity and heritage. Wisconsin's quarter paid tribute to the state's agricultural roots with a design that featured a cow, a wheel of cheese, and an ear of corn, symbols that proudly represent Wisconsin's status as America's dairyland. At first glance, it's a wholesome and straightforward design. But beneath that humble agricultural scene lies one of the most exciting minting mysteries in recent history. A tiny detail, a small difference that transformed an ordinary coin into a collector's jackpot. Shortly after the Wisconsin quarter entered circulation, some sharp-eyed collectors noticed something strange. On the ear of corn in the design, there was a leaf. But this wasn't the same on every coin. In fact, 3 versions of this coin started to appear. The first and most common version featured the corn as originally designed. No surprises there. But then came 2 rarities that would send shockwaves through the numismatic world. Version 1 was called the Extra Leaf Low variety. On this coin, an additional leaf seems to extend from the bottom of the ear of corn, curving downward in a way that was not part of the original design. Version 2 was the Extra Leaf High variety, where the extra leaf points more sharply upward, closer to the middle of the corn husk. These mysterious leaves weren't intentional. They were the result of a die gouge, a minting error caused when the die that stamps the image onto the coin is accidentally damaged or altered. Theories swirled. Was it a simple accident? A deliberate act by a rogue mint worker? We may never know for sure, but one thing was certain. These error coins were real, and they were rare. Collectors quickly began scouring their coins, searching for the elusive extra leaf. The buzz was electric. Coin shops, auctions, online marketplaces, they all lit up with activity. The hunt was on. Now let's talk about rarity. While millions of Wisconsin quarters were produced, only a small number contained the extra leaf error. And of those, only a tiny fraction have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. The combination of rarity and condition is what transforms a simple error into a collector's dream. And yes, condition matters enormously. If you find a coin with the extra leaf error, but it's scratched, worn, or dirty from years of circulation, it might fetch a modest price. But if you discover one in mint state, graded MS 65 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC, the value can skyrocket. There are stories of lucky individuals finding these coins in pocket change, at bank coin rolls, or tucked away in forgotten collections. What looked like just another quarter turned out to be a once-in-a-lifetime find. But let's not stop at the extra leaf error. Some rare Wisconsin quarters also display striking anomalies, clad layer issues, or off-center strikes that can make them even more desirable to serious collectors. Error coins like these are like fingerprints. No two are exactly the same, and their uniqueness is what drives up their value. Now imagine this. You're sitting at home, pouring through an old coin jar that's been collecting dust for years. You pick up a 2004 quarter and see the cow and corn. You smile. But then, something catches your eye. That corn looks different. There's an extra leaf, and it's not just your imagination. You research it, and it matches the exact placement of the famous extra leaf high variety. Your heart races. You send it off to be graded, fingers crossed. Weeks pass. Then the results come in. Your coin is genuine, rare, and in top condition. What happens next? You're offered a price that you never thought possible for something you almost didn't notice. That's the magic of coin collecting. Every coin tells a story. Every coin has a journey. And sometimes, the most ordinary objects can carry extraordinary value. So, just how valuable can a 2004 Wisconsin quarter really be? Well, if your coin has the extra leaf high or extra leaf low error, and if it's in perfect, uncirculated condition, the value can reach incredible heights on the collector's market. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, a 2004 Wisconsin state quarter with a rare mint error and graded in superb condition has been valued at up to $76,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $76,000. For a single quarter. And this isn't just a fantasy, it's real. These coins have been bought, sold, and authenticated at astonishing prices. They've changed hands at major auctions. They've made headlines. And they continue to fascinate both expert collectors and casual hobbyists alike. So, if you have a jar of coins somewhere, or a stash of state quarters you've been collecting, it might be time to take a second look. That Wisconsin quarter you tossed aside could be worth more than you ever imagined. Top 5 were shining a spotlight on the 2002 Mississippi state quarter. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin from the 50 state quarters program. But this one, under just the right circumstances, has been known to carry a value far beyond its face. In fact, one version of this coin, with specific rare characteristics, has been valued at a jaw-dropping amount you won't believe. So stick with me to the very end to find out exactly how much this small piece of metal could be worth. Let's start with the design. The Mississippi State Quarter was released in 2002 as the 20th coin in the State Quarters series. And what a beauty it is! The reverse side features 2 magnificent magnolia blossoms, the state flower of Mississippi. The design is simple, elegant, and full of southern charm. Above the flowers, the word Mississippi is etched in bold letters, and below it, the nickname, the Magnolia State, appears, paying tribute to the region's natural beauty and cultural pride. This coin isn't just beautiful. It represents a deeper story of Southern identity, history, and resilience. But it's what happened after the minting process began that makes this coin a real prize for collectors. You see, not all Mississippi quarters were created equal. While millions were struck and released into circulation, only a tiny handful came out with unusual, unintentional errors, mistakes made during production at the U.S. Mint. And it's those mistakes that have transformed some of these coins from common change into extremely valuable collectibles. Let's talk about what makes a Mississippi quarter rare. One of the most prized versions of this coin is the double die error variety. This happens when the coin is struck with a die that was incorrectly produced or damaged, causing parts of the design, like the lettering, the date, or even the magnolia blossoms themselves, to appear slightly duplicated. It may be subtle to the naked eye, but to a trained collector, these doubled features are like gold. They can show up in the petals of the flowers, the stem, or in the text on the coin, creating a shadowed or layered effect. The sharper the doubling, the higher the value. Another rare and valuable error is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin, called a planchet, is not correctly aligned during minting. The result? A coin where the design is noticeably shifted to one side, sometimes cutting off part of the artwork or leaving a blank crescent on one edge. These are easy to spot and incredibly sought after, especially when the coin is still in mint condition. Then there's the clad layer missing error, where one of the layers of the coin is absent. U.S. quarters are made from a copper core covered with a nickel coating. If that coating is missing from one side, the coin can appear dull, reddish, or discolored, and that flaw can be worth a small fortune if it's authenticated. But wait, it gets even better. Some extremely rare Mississippi quarters have surfaced with multiple errors combined, like a double die and off-center strike in one coin. When you find that kind of rare mistake and the coin has been preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, you're looking at a treasure that only the luckiest collectors ever get to hold. And that brings us to a very important point. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A coin that's been passed around in pockets, dropped, scratched, or weathered by time might still have some value if it has an error. But if that same coin is in mint state condition, graded MS 65 or higher by a professional agency like PCGS or NGC, then its value can shoot through the roof. Clean, sharp details. No wear, no discoloration. That's what collectors are searching for. And the Mississippi quarter has one more thing going for it: mystique. Compared to some of the more well-known state quarter errors, the rare Mississippi varieties are less publicized, making them feel like secret treasures hiding in plain sight. It's the kind of coin that slips by unnoticed until someone sharp enough, lucky enough, or knowledgeable enough stumbles upon it and realizes just how special it is. So imagine this scenario. You're cleaning out an old drawer. You come across a handful of coins that you haven't seen in years. You look through them quickly, then pause. There it is, a Mississippi state quarter. You flip it over and look more closely. The magnolia blossoms look odd. The letters seem off. Maybe you even notice part of the design is shifted. Your heart skips a beat. You pull out a magnifying glass. Could it be? You take a photo. You compare it online. Your excitement grows. So you send it off to be graded, just in case. And then the report comes back. Rare error confirmed, uncirculated condition, top-tier grade. Suddenly, that little coin becomes one of the most valuable things you own. Now it's time for the moment you've been waiting for. How much can one of these rare 2002 Mississippi state quarters actually be worth? If it has a recognized mint error, like a double die or a clad layer issue, and if it has been professionally graded in high mint state condition, then it could be valued at up to $73,000. Yes, you heard that right. $73,000. For a single quarter. So the next time you're going through your coins, whether it's your personal collection or just spare change you grabbed from your car, keep your eyes peeled. Because buried among the ordinary could be a piece of American history that holds extraordinary value.